Welcome.
Hi. I'm so glad you're back.
So glad I'm back?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I struggled a little bit with whether I should write you an email and wish you well or whatever. And
You struggled with whether you should?
yeah.
Yeah. You know, when I said that to my teacher once about writing something,
Yeah.
I got a letter back. It said 10,000 thoughts, not as good as one action. Sincerely yours. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, you know, just cut through the whole thing, you know?
But I really missed you.
Thanks.
And I'm glad you're okay.
I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah. I'm wondering if you can, this one thing that you talked about tonight,
Yeah.
how do you recognize that?
How do you recognize that?
Yeah.
Well, of course, first it's realizing what the one thing is, right?
Right.
That's one of the most important things, is realizing what the one thing is. And as you've heard me say many times, that the one thing, the thing that spirituality hinges on, spirituality that has anything to do with authentic awakening. Spirituality is all about realizing what you are. That's what it's about. Oh, that's what it's all about. Right? That's the end of it. That's the beginning, the middle, and the end of it. That's what's realized. And that's basically all there is to realize. That's the realization. So that's the one thing. How you approach that, who knows how you'll approach that? The most simple and direct, the better. So I throw things out at different times, right? To see what resonates for you. What do you get a feel for? You know, like tonight, I say just live in the sense of awareness. That's it. That's how. Since awareness is the doorway, that's why spiritual teachers have talked about awareness and consciousness ad nauseum forever, haven't they? I mean, it's the most common thing in the world in a spirituality that's aimed at awakening. They always talk about awareness and they always talk about consciousness in some way or another. Usually they're saying some form of be more aware, be more present, be more here, be more now. Right? Be more in the present moment. You see what I mean? I just have a little slight spin from that, because what I realize when everybody's trying to do that, it's 90% of their time there's ego that's struggling to do that. Right? So they're trying to be now, trying to be the present moment. They don't even know what the present moment is, so how are they going to be in the present moment, right?
Right.
I did the same thing, by the way. That's how I know it, right? You know, I was to be, you know, in Zen, it's very much be now, be very present, be, you know, very aware of everything you're doing. So I tried to be very, very aware of everything I'm doing. And if you ever want a prescription for abject spiritual failure, try to be aware of everything you're doing, right? And don't think too much. Because the first thing you realize is, oh, damn it, I just thought again about something useless. And, oh, I just thought about thinking about something totally useless, so that was useless. And, uh-oh, I'm judging it as useless, so that's useless. Right? Oh, I'm supposed to be present. What am I doing? Oh, okay, I'm sitting in a chair, or I'm at work, or I'm walking down. Okay, now I'm feeling my feet on the sidewalk, and holy smokes, what was that? impure thought, not. Right? So it starts to have this very ego. It actually enhances the egoic center.
Have you
very
been following
easily.
me or something? Yeah, I know
That's a
exactly
nice
what
thing.
you
Is
mean.
if you've ever followed yourself, you pretty much followed everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Right? Because it's one mind
Right.
doing very similar things. So, right? Okay, so that's kind of what I did, right? That's what we do. We try to be more present, more here, right now, and we have moments of where we think we're succeeding, and lots of moments where we're kind of failing. And so it goes. The difficulty is, what I didn't know at the time 20 years ago, what I had no idea of, was that here I was in this spiritual practice, right? God forbid the word. I was doing this spiritual practice, but what I didn't know is it was my ego doing the spiritual practice.
Yeah.
It's what that is what was doing the practice.
Right.
No wonder it wasn't really succeeding particularly well, right? And as you've also, because you've been around a while, have heard me say my particular route, although it doesn't need to be any of your routes, but my route was the route of continuous spiritual failure. Not to be recommended, but nonetheless that's the way I did it. So I eventually failed at all that so miserably and so catastrophically that I got totally despondent and, wanted to put my head through brick walls or something like that just to get away from it. All of a sudden something just said, that's it. I've had it. I can't do this. And at that moment of I can't do this was, little did I know it at the time, but it was the ego relinquishing itself. And as soon as the ego relinquished itself, everything changed.
I don't think I have your discipline.
What's that?
I don't have your discipline.
Well, you don't need to have my discipline. What you need to have is what you have. You don't need to copy anybody. I wasn't doing it right. Do you see what I mean? There isn't really a right, but if there is a right, I certainly wasn't doing it right. I was doing it so wrong that I couldn't psychologically sustain it after a few years anymore without going completely, So it's not, so for you to imitate me would be a silly thing to ask, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So that's not what I'm saying.
No, because there's something appealing about the exhaustion part. But I know that I also know me and that I wouldn't do it.
Yes, but see, you can get very exhausted and stay exhausted and not give up.
That would really suck.
Yeah, happens all the time. That's often when people come to me. Been at this forever and I've had it, something like that. So I'm not teaching the way of spiritual exhaustion. I only use these examples, not of what to do, but of what not to waste your time doing. So like I said, I throw various things out to see what feels like it fits for you. Like I did tonight. Just dwell in the sense of awareness itself. Dwell in the sense of being awareness. Don't try to practice it. Don't try to do it. Don't try to be very here now. Just get the sense, the feeling tone, shall we say. It's very subtle of awareness. Now, awareness is always happening, isn't it? As far as you know. If it's not always happening, well, you're not there not to know it, are you? So any moment, say during the day, awareness is happening, so you don't need to enhance it or make it more or try to make it be more here now. That's just all egoic, tail spinning. But get the sense of it, the feel of it. See, that's one thing. There's many things you've heard me toss out all over the years. You can do spiritual inquiry. What am I? Pause. Mind doesn't know the answer. Live in the pause. And then your mind goes again. I shouldn't have done that. And who shouldn't have done that? What am I really, actually, truly, do I know? Answer, no. Pause. Live in the pause. You see, my wife Mukti, she had her awakening one night when we were at my very first retreat I ever taught, and I just did a talk about stillness. Just stillness. Just stopping. Just stop, and just be still. Stop and be still. For whatever reason, on that night, it totally registered for her. She thought, I'm going to find out what this stopping and stillness is. And at the end of the night, when everybody went to sleep, she sat there in that zendo and she said, I'm not leaving this damn zendo. I'm not leaving this meditation hall until I know what it really means to stop, to be still. And she just stayed there and 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 stayed there. And at some point during the middle of the night, she thought, well, okay, that's it. That's about as still as things are going to get. You know, it seemed pretty still, and they're not getting more still. So she got up and she went to bed. Next day, she woke up and she woke up. You see, so there's not formula necessarily, right? There's not this formula that's like, because then the ego kind of goes, this is what I got to do, and it's going to have this result. And see, when you get out of that,
I keep asking you for a formula.
I know, yeah. And what I'm saying is, the formula, you see, isn't in some really strict prescribed thing. Do you see what I mean? Like Nisargadatta did not hear his teacher say, you are the ultimate reality, and he did not decide to stick with that one statement until he had completely seen through it, until he had completely realized it for himself. He didn't do it because his teacher said, okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go home and I want you to stick with this one. His teacher's just talking. And this hit him. That's the essence of it, he thought. That's the kernel of it. And it seized him. And he stayed with the one thing. He was inspired to. There's a certain passion, a certain interest, I'm reminding you that what this is ultimately is about is your identity. That's all it's about.
I feel so close sometimes.
Yeah. And when you're really close, when you feel extraordinarily close, that's the time to do something that's totally counterintuitive. When you get very close, there's this sense of, I'm so close I could just taste it. Huh? Mm-hmm. You felt that way?
Yeah.
Just, I could taste it.
Like
That's right.
a falling.
That's right. I could almost reach out and grab something. I don't know what it is. I could almost, but not quite. That seems to be the intuitive thing. What is that? Do the counterintuitive thing. I'm so close, and what do? Just relax.
Yeah.
Because those moments when you feel very close, they come upon you, don't they? You don't create that moment.
No.
They just come. They're a moment of a gift. They're just like a gift. They come. The tendency of ego, grasp. The tendency of being, open.
Yeah.
Let it come. Don't seek it. Don't grasp it. Let it come. Just like that. Let it come. If the word faith has any meaning, that would probably be the word faith.
Yeah.
Not in faith in something, but faith in just letting go. Enough faith just to let go. Faith or desperation, either will do. Right? And when you have a taste, when you have this taste, you can't grasp it. When you have a wonderful moment of awakening, as any number of you have, these, I know, suddenly everything I just said and everything, it all makes sense, everything I've read, I'll be darned, it's as clear as a bell, how could I have not seen it? Those kind of moments. This is the most obvious thing in the world. No human being could ever forget this once seen. Those kind of moments. And at those kind of moments, St. John of the Cross said, and when you come to the possession of the all, you must possess it without wanting anything.
That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah. When the very thing you wanted more than anything blooms, and it always ends up being very different than you thought or expected, when it blooms, if you want anything from it, if you want to possess it in any way, it seems to recede again. Reality can't recede, there's nowhere for it to go, but your awareness of it can recede. And it usually almost always recedes because somewhere, something in you sought to possess it. When you come upon the all, you must possess it without wanting anything. Beautiful line, isn't it? How do you possess something without wanting anything? It's like, how do you possess something without possessing it in any way whatsoever? Yeah?
Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like someone who falls in love and then they, I want to possess it. And then it starts to die. It's like you don't know it, but you're strangling this beautiful thing. You're killing it without even knowing it. Through you're trying to possess it. It'll kill the thing. Possess it without wanting anything. So when those moments come, when that moment comes, don't even try to grasp at it. Don't even try to sustain it. That's the trick. When you finally, nothing in you is trying to possess it, then it can't be lost. The awareness of awareness, the awareness of your true nature can't be lost when you're not trying to possess it. As long as you're trying to possess it, it will appear to have these moments of coming and going, presenting itself, then receding back into the background.